Hello guys, I hope you are fine and safe at home. Today, as I said, for grade 9 we'll be doing space and shapes. So you forgive me for the busy background. So without wasting time, let's just go straight to my screen here and then and just deal with the business of the day. So as I said that we'll be doing space and shapes, guys. Firstly, meaning sorry. The things that we'll be doing in this lesson will cover 7 topics. So the first one will be area and perimeter and circumference, as you can see. And then the second will be nets, the third surface areas, and then up to the seventh one. And then what is the purpose of this is just to show you what you have to do or you have to know at the end of this lesson. Meaning at the end of this lesson, I'm expecting you to know how to calculate the area of various shapes, to know how to calculate the perimeter, the circumference, how to draw the net of any shapes, any prism, any cylinder. And then for surface areas, you have to know how to calculate the surface area of any rectangular prism, triangular prism, and any cylinder, just like in the nets. And then we'll have a mini quiz after that. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll either send the questions later today or tomorrow, so that we can test if you did understand. And then what's the good thing about these online classes is that you can repeat the videos as many times as you can till you understand. So I'm going to keep a video very short for the sake of your data, guys. So, and then without wasting any time, we can start. So the first lesson, as I said, it will be the area, the perimeter, and the circumference. So what we have to know from this is you have to know like here what it says. The area of shape is measured by determining how many squares units fit within an area. So in an example, if you're given a grid paper, we all know what a grid paper is. If you were to draw this rectangle in a grid paper, since it's 4 and 2, 4 multiplied by 2, that's 8. So what it's basically saying is that if we were given a grid paper, we were expecting to have a total of 8 smaller squares within this rectangle. But we won't be having a grid paper, and you can't always rely on a grid paper. Hence, you're given formulas. So we can use the formulas to determine the area of an object. So each object has each shape has its specific formula for area and for the perimeter. So you're expected to know all the formulas, but they are pretty simple, guys. And then to start with, the area for square and rectangle, it's given, the formula is given by area is equals to the length multiplied by the width. Some textbooks will say length multiplied by breadth, it's one and the same thing. So what is the length? The length is the longest side of the object or the shape you're given. Then the breadth is the shortest side. So in this case, our length will be this side because it's 4 centimeters, and then our breadth will be this side since it's 2 centimeters. So for a square, remember that a square has same or equal sides. For other textbooks, for a square, you won't see length multiplied by breadth because it's one and the same thing. So for square, they often use length multiplied by length, which will give you L squared. So here our area would be calculated like already always when they ask you to calculate an area or a perimeter, the first thing you write is the formula. Then you get 1 mark for that formula. So you'd get a mark already for the formula sorted. And then from there, what's next is for you to substitute the units. So the area for this one, its area, it's equals to, we have 4 by 2. You must always write your units, guys, but I won't write them here. 4 multiplied by 2, so which will give us 8. So since it's centimeter multiplied by centimeter, it will give us centimeter squared. And then meaning always the units for area, they should have squared. If not, you will get your answer incorrect, or as you just by using incorrect units. So don't do that, guys. And then from there, um, the area of a triangle. So what I will do, as I said, I will give you questions to understand. So for each, I'll explain a little bit and give you one example. Then we'll do the exercises afterwards. So for the triangle, you have to know that the formula, as I said, its area is equals to half multiplied by base multiplied by height. But your height must be perpendicular to the base. If it's not perpendicular to the base, then we can't call that thing what your height. So what am I saying, guys? In simplest terms, what I'm saying is, if we were given a triangle like this one, and then let's say in this triangle we have another triangle, or let's just divide it like that. We can't refer to this line here. We can't refer to this line. I don't know if you can see this yellow line. We can't refer to this yellow line as the height of this triangle because it's not perpendicular to the base. If this is your base, right here, guys, if this side is your base, then we can't refer to this as the height of the triangle because it's not perpendicular to the base. So for it to be referred to as a height, for it to be referred to as the height of that triangle, it should be perpendicular to the base. So we are expecting to have something like this. Remember that anything that is perpendicular, it's 90 degrees there. So it would be 90 there. Then we can call this black line, this one. We can call it what? The height of this triangle. So by height, we mean this line. If it's not perpendicular to the base, it's not a height. And in some cases, they won't give you the height of the triangle. So if they don't give you the height of the triangle, like let me quickly erase this one so that I show you exactly what to do in such cases. So let's assume that we're given the very same line we drew here. Then they tell you in the statement that the height of this triangle is blah 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 units. So what you do, you'd construct that height to show the person who will be marking that you understand that they don't mean this line, but the height is this one. I hope you understand, guys. So for the, as I said, the height of the triangle is the length of a line that is perpendicular to the base and goes from the base to the corner. So to say which is the base, that's up to you guys, because then whether you choose this as the base, it all depends on how they position your triangle. In this case, you can't say this is the base because I mean you're facing at the paper like this. So this here would be your height, and then this would be your base. But you can't say someone is saying this is a base is wrong, because then it means that they will be looking at it at the tilted position. So what I'm saying is that whether this is your base or this is your height, we'll all get the same answer. So in this case, our base in this case would be 5. Our height would be 3. So it would be 3 multiplied by 5, which is 15. And then the half of 15 will be 7.5. So your answer would be 7.5 centimeter squared. Remember that you must not forget your units, guys. And then we move on to the area of a circle. So for the area of a circle, you have a special equation. You have area is equals to the pi. We call this symbol a pi. It's pi r squared. So you have this symbol in your calculator. It's 3.14 something something. It's not necessary for you to write it, but when you substitute that, just write the 2 digits after the 3. So you will just write 3.14. So it will be 3,14 multiplied by, remember guys, let me quickly, for your second, you have a center, right? You have a center, sorry. You have a center. Let's say we're given this circle here. The line that passes through the center, only through the center, guys, because there can be any other lines passing through the circle, but not the center. Any line passing through the center, we call that line what? A diameter. So we call that line a diameter. So you'll be having your diameter there. And then a diameter is given by two radiuses, two radius. So it's 2 times the radius. Then in simplest terms, what are we saying? We are saying that the radius is half of the diameter. Meaning, what is a radius then, guys? Radius is any line that comes from the center to the circumference. We call this outer part of the circle a circumference. So any line, as long as it's from the center, as long as it's from the center to the circumference, from the center to the circumference, guys. Any line, all these lines, the red one, the black one, and the green one, and even these two, we call them radii when it's more than one. But there it's a radius, it's a radius, it's a radius, it's a radius. So since this is 4, we are expecting that if we were to draw another one from here to there, it would also be 4. If we were to draw another one again from here, from the center again to that, it would also be 4. So all of them would be 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So what you must understand is that radius, the radii of a circle, of one circle, they are all equal. And then if we combine these two, if we combine these two to here, this straight line, we call that the diameter. We can't call this one the diameter because it's not a straight line passing through the center. This one is a diameter, it passes straight through the center. This one is a diameter, it passes through straight through the center. I hope you understand, guys. And then if we're given that, because sometimes they will trick you, they will tell you calculate the area of this circle, and then they tell you that the diameter of the circle is 8. You can't substitute that 8 here. You should substitute what? 4 instead of 8, because always when you're given a diameter, you have it. The answer you get, that's your radius. I hope you understand, guys. So in this case, you say pi multiplied by 4 squared. And that squared is not for everything, guys. That squared, it's not for everything. Like we have our pi here. We have our pi, r, you put that r, the value of r in brackets. So you put your 4 there, and then you square. This squared is only for what? For this 4. This squared is not for the pi. I hope you understand, guys. I hope you are clear on that. So moving forward, I hope by now you understand the formula for the area of the square, the rectangle, the triangle, and the circle. Those are the 4 basic shapes you should know. If you don't know these, you can't understand the other lessons that we'll be doing right now. I hope you understand, guys. Let's move forward. And then, so moving forward, we are going to the perimeter. We are done with the area. So when it comes to your perimeter, the perimeter of the shape is the distance around the edge of the shape. So in simplest terms, your perimeter is the outer sum, or calculating the sides out. We don't care what is going on the inner part of the object or the shape that we are given. We only focus on the outer part. And then a perimeter of a circle is called a circumference. So we don't say the perimeter of a circle, we say the circumference of the circle, because remember that I just told you that this outer part of a circle, we call it what? A circumference. But this outer part of this irregular shape, we don't call it a circumference. If we want the total of the outer part, we say you want the perimeter, but you don't want the perimeter of a circle. You want the circumference of a circle. I hope we are clear, guys. So that is explained here, and it's given by a symbol C. Perimeter is given by symbol P, meaning if you write perimeter, instead of writing perimeter in full, you can just write P is equal to blah blah blah. That will be your formula. But for circumference, it will be C, just like it's written here. Then don't confuse these two things, guys. And the area for circle is A is equal to pi r squared, but sorry, pi r squared, but the circumference is this one. C is equal to 2 pi r. There's no squared, and there's no 2 here in area. So don't confuse these two things, guys. Know your formulas, and the only way you can know your formulas is if you practice. So I hope you are clear there. So we are given that the radius of the circle is 3 centimeters, and then we are required to calculate the circumference. So it would be 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r. You charge that in your calculator, you get the answer. And the units for perimeter, it's centimeters. There's no squared because we are not multiplying. Instead, we are adding. So it will be centimeters. If you're given in millimeters, the final answer will be in millimeters. Do you get it? But if it was the area is always squared. If you're given in millimeters, it will be millimeters squared. But for perimeter, it's the same units. I hope we are clear, guys. And then you have these irregular shapes. You can't say this shape is square, is rectangle, or anything like that. So what we call these shapes here, we call them composite shapes. We'll do that in our last lesson. We call them composite shapes. What are composite shapes? Composite shapes is just having more than or more than one shape. Let me say more than one shape. Because what we can see here from this one, what we can see is that if we were to divide this into two, if we were to cut it here, what we can see is that we have a square on this side, then we have a rectangle on this side. So what they did, they combined the rectangle and a square, just to trick you guys. A rectangle and a square. Then we call that what? A composite shape. Not to say only when it's a rectangle and a square, it can be anything. It can be a circle, it can be anything. As long as it's more than one shape, we call it an irregular. But there are other shapes that have special names. Instead of calling them composite, they're given special names, although they consist of more than one circle. We'll do those, guys. But for now, just know that this is composite. Other textbooks call it irregular shapes. So either you call it composite or irregular shape, it's up to you. It's fine, guys. So with this one, the perimeter, if we were to calculate the perimeter of this one here, the formula would be P is equal to you can't say okay. Other textbooks will be like length 1, length 2, length 3. Let's see how many sides we have here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can say L1, L2, L3, L4 up to L6. Is it fine, guys? I hope you get it. I hope you're getting this, guys. You can say L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus L4 plus L5 plus L6. And then from there, you substitute. P is equal to, what is the value of L1? Let's say it's 15.6. 15.6 plus L2 is 7.5 plus L4 is 8.4 plus that other one is 5.2 plus 7.2 plus 12.7. So what we do is just addition of all these numbers. You get your total in your calculator, and then remember they are all in meters. So you just write whatever unit you get in meters. You get it, guys? So that will be it. You get your full 4 marks, if I'm not mistaken. So full 4 marks, guys. First, it's your 1 mark for your formula, 1 mark for substitution, 1 mark for the final answer. If it has units, if it doesn't have, you can lose that 1 mark. So it's 4. It can be 3 marks. It can be 3 marks, guys, in total. Okay, this is pretty simple, guys. I hope you understand. So let's move on. Let's move on, guys. So far, you understand. So even this one here is what? Irregular, or what? Composite shape, because it consists of more than one. Like, check this one. Check this one. It has, we have, sorry, we have a triangle there. This is our triangle. If we cut it here, or let me do this. If we cut it here and then we cut it there, yeah, like this, yeah, guys. So we have a triangle, then we have a pentagon and a pentagon. Don't know about what is a pentagon and everything. That pentagon is a shape that has 5 sides. Yeah, but we are not there today. We'll do that with some other thing. But I'm just showing you that composite. Remember, we said more than one shape. So it's a triangle, that's one shape. Pentagon, that's another shape. So we have 2 shapes here. We have 2, or we can say we have 4, but it's a triangle, a pentagon, and a pentagon. So we have 4 shapes. It's okay. So what we are required to calculate here, they are trying to trick you. They are saying if a perimeter of a shape below is 96, they give you the perimeter, that the perimeter is 96. So at this stage, we know that the perimeter is what? Is the total sum. So a perimeter is 96, and then they're asking you what is the length of the side shown to be dotted. So what they're asking us is calculate the value of this side, this dotted side. We are given all this. So what you do in this case, guys, it's pretty simple, guys. We know that your perimeter, the formula is given by P, it's equals to, you'll write L1, L2, L3, L4, depending on how many sides you have. So it will be, it will be L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus L4 plus all those things, guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 plus this one. We have 7 sides here, guys. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't count this one because we are not given. We don't count that one. So in total, we have 7 sides. 7 sides, guys. So, and then, but our P, we are given that the value of the perimeter is 96. So you should substitute that by 96. 96 is equals to L1. You write the value of L1, L2 plus what. But since we are looking for this value here and we don't know it, this one here, we'll just label it as X. We'll just label it as X. So it will be 20 plus 16 plus 32 plus 8 plus 8 plus 5 plus X, because we don't know this value here. This is what we are required to calculate. So you add those values, all of them, then they give you a certain answer. They give you a certain answer, guys. Let's say I didn't calculate it. Let's say they give you 89. So it will be 89 plus X. Are we clear? And then from there, what do you do? Remember that we did equations. So it's say 96 minus 89 is equals to X. Are we clear, guys? So 96 minus 81 is equals to X, and then you get the value of X. But in this case, it won't be this. This is incorrect. You should add this, and then you get the correct value. I hope we are clear, guys. So let's move on. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Next. So, okay, I'll send this for you to calculate. I'll send this for you to calculate. You're supposed to calculate that. I'll send it. And then we are sometimes given cases like this. They like this one, guys. I can assure you it will be in your exam. I can assure you it will be in your exam. It will be in your exam. I know. I can bet. It will be in your exam. So in this case, they say calculate the shaded area in the diagram. Let me give you an example. If you are given something like for you, you'll understand. Forgive me for throwing this. Thank you. So let's say we decide to shade here. We shade here, we shade here, we shade all of this part, all of this part. And then they are like to you, calculate the area of the shaded part. Then they tell you that here, they tell you that here you have, let's say, 4 centimeters. Then this side you have 2 centimeters. Yeah, 2 centimeters. And then the triangle here, they tell you that the height of this triangle here, let's say it's 1 centimeters, and then the base, let's say it's 2 centimeters. Then they ask you to calculate the area of the shaded part. So always when they ask you to calculate the area of the shaded part, what you should know is that firstly, step 1, for you to calculate the area of the shaded part, the first step, you calculate the areas of the two shapes separately, guys. Separately. Yeah? That's the first step. The second step is for you to do what? To subtract. Oh Jesus. To subtract the area of the smaller one from the area of the bigger one. Yeah? The area of the smaller from the bigger. So it will be area of the bigger one minus area of the smaller one. And then the answer that you will get there is the answer of the shaded area. I hope I'm making sense, guys. So this is pretty simple, really pretty simple. In this case, this would be area of the rectangle. So first step, remember, you calculate the area of the rectangle separately and the area of the triangle separately. You get those two answers. Ne? You get your centimeter, blah, 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 centimeter squared for the, you get blah, 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 centimeter squared for your rectangle, blah, 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 centimeter squared for your triangle. And then, which one is bigger here? Obviously, guys, the bigger one here is what is the rectangle. So for the area of the shaded that they want, we say the area of the shaded of the rectangle, which is your bigger one. You would have calculated it. In this case, it would be 8 because it's 4 and 2. It would be 8 centimeters squared. Then remember, we said we have 1, we have 2 as a base. So this one multiplied by 2 will be 2 centimeters squared. So you have 8 minus 2. So the area of the shaded part will be 6 centimeters squared. I hope you understand, guys. This is pretty simple. So in this case here, you have your rectangle and then inside you have your square. So the area of the shaded will be the area of the rectangle, which is 22 multiplied by 8. In this case, they didn't give you units. So if they didn't give you units, guys, you can't write centimeters squared. You write units squared. You write units squared. And if they didn't give you units and they ask you to calculate the perimeter, you just write units. So it would be 22 plus 8 plus 8 plus 22 plus 8 plus 8 plus 22. Remember that for the area, for the perimeter, we go all around. Just because they gave you 2 units, you can't say you add 22 and 8. Ne? For the perimeter, it would be 22 plus 8 plus 22 plus 8. I hope you understand, guys. But in this case, we are required to calculate the area of the shaded area. So it would be 22 multiplied by 8, because it's length multiplied by breadth. 22 multiplied by 8, you get your answer. Then you come to this square, it's 6, 6, because remember I told you that the square has equal sides. So it's 6 multiplied by 6, which is 36. So it will be the answer you got from 22 multiplied by 8, you subtract 36. Then the answer you get is the shaded area. This is pretty simple, guys. Pretty simple. And then this is your assignment. I will send it. I will send it, guys. Let's go. This is part of your assignment. This is everything that is here is everything that I've explained to you. Everything that is there is everything that I just explained to you. But if you don't understand, you let me know. So that's it, guys. That will be it. That will be it, guys. I don't want, because it seems like already we are. So that will be lesson 1. Lesson 2 will be the nets. I don't want to do, because I thought that we were going to do everything today, but I can see that it's already the time, guys, already, and I just feel like I've told you a lot of things already. But you let me know if it's not a lot, and then I can upload the video either today or tomorrow. But I just wanted to take out everything, but it seems like it's going to be a lot, guys, because already what we did, and you still have assignments to do and everything. So what I'll do is that after you are done with this video, just let me know that I'm done and I understand, and then I'll send you exercises. Then if you get those right, then we'll do this lesson 2, the nets, because it's pretty simple, but I'll explain. I'll explain the nets, then we can finish other lessons. So by the time, maybe by the end of this month, we'll be done with term 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then what we can do is review, go back and review until we come back, so that, because I know after lockdown, guys, your teachers will be putting a lot of pressure on you guys. You'll be required to push fast, and then you'll be writing tests as if you are crazy. So then this is good, because don't delete these videos, guys. Don't delete them, because you can revise and come back to them anytime you want to, and repeat them as many times as you want to, guys, until you understand. So this is pretty simple, and I really hope you did understand, guys. And I'm glad for tuning in and taking your time. And thank you. And tell others, guys, tell your friends that we have online classes, because a lot of people are not studying now. And you should keep your brain active. So with that being said, guys, stay home, stay safe, and yeah, see you on the next lesson. Ciao.